Greetings and welcome everyone to my first impressions of a little game called Little Inferno. Little Inferno is this game that came out a little while ago and has just recently come out on the Humble Indie Bundle. So I figured I would purchase it, support charity and all that jazz, and I would give you my first impressions of Little Inferno. Now, Little Inferno has two gameplay mechanics. You purchase items from the store with your money, and then you bring them in, and then you set them on fire. This game is all about setting things on fire. You left click and you start things on fire. It is quite cool. So, the story of Little Inferno is as such. Basically, the world is a horrible and cruel place outside, and it's really cold, and we don't know when it will get warm again. So why don't you just stay inside with the nice Little Inferno and warm yourself up. So you have these toys that you can purchase, and then you can look at them. You can just look at them. Look at them being really cute. And then you can use your Little Inferno to set them on fire. Ah, see, it's very... Oh god, oh no! You put him out, Oh god, he sounds like he's hurting. Oh dear. Oh, that did not work out as well as I expected it to. Huh. Sorry about... Whoa, I just wrecked him. I'm destroying him. Oh my god, I wrecked him. So, destroying these things will give you money that you can pick up or have automatically picked up for you, and then you are given that money to spend on more items. You spend more and more items, or you spend more and more money on more and more items, and you unlock more items to purchase so that you can, then burn more things. So you want to burn stuff so that you can get more money, so you can purchase more items to burn them. And that's how this game works. Let's just bring these in here. Now, normally that sounds pretty boring, and the only real sort of experimental type thing to it is that, well, you have combos, and that's the main gameplay of it. So you see here, you have lots of little combos that you can perform. So if you say, put a pirate and a bike together, you'll get Bike Pirate. Yeah, you see? Or if you do a packet of spring flower seeds or whatever, and an alarm clock, you'll get spring time. Get it? Springtime? Because it counts the time, and it's also spring. Wow, I wrecked that thing. Didn't even set that on fire. Screw you, Little Inferno. I don't need the Little Inferno to keep me entertained. I don't need fire. I got breakable glass. So yeah, that's the main gameplay mechanic. So now you purchase items, and then you have to wait for them to arrive, and it'll take a certain amount of time for them to arrive, and you can use an express ship card to speed it up, and that will bring it into you quicker, and then you can use it automatically. And that's really all of the gameplay. That's it. So this game is it's not really a game, well, it is a game, but it is more about saying a message, and how, like, iOS games are kind of dumb. That's what message I'm getting from this game, because they say a lot of stuff like, oh, ignore the rest of the world, it's important, I'm sure everything will be fine, and you should just play this game. And I think they're really intentionally making fun of iOS games for being, you know, sort of extorting money out of you and forcing you to, well, not forcing you, but having you pay for items. So that's sort of where they're going with this as a theme. At least that's my interpretation of it. Also, now we have a little message down here. So you can see here, this is a little envelope that we can open up and read. Now, this little girl is sending you messages, and she's basically your friend, and then you occasionally send her items, and you just, you know, you're friends, basically. You just talk to stuff. So she sent us a message. Let me read it to you. Little Inferno Fireplace is pretty much my favorite game, even though it doesn't make any sense. Buy stuff, burn it, and it gives you more money than when you started. Ha 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 ha, I love free stuff. That can't last forever. Oh, I hope they release a free update of Little Inferno Fireplace with pink logs from Sugar Plumps. P.S. Shh. That thing in the back? It looks like a face, but it's not that thing. P.P.S. But it can see you. So it's basically, yeah, just they're trying to make fun of iOS games for being boring and not and for having you waste your time on iOS games by using these mechanics as being kind of boring and not really that interesting at all. And to say to you, hey, isn't this boring and not interesting? And you're like, yeah, it's kind of not boring and interesting at all. And then you just play it more and more, and it's like, oh, well, okay then. It's not boring. It's not interesting, and it's kind of boring. So that's the main point of this game, is that you shouldn't play boring iOS games just because they're addictive and they manipulate you into thinking that they're interesting. Like, as you continue in the game, the story will be more and more about, wasting your life on a pointless game which does nothing except for ruin your memories of other games and such like that. So that's really the main point of this game, is just to tell you that, hey, this stuff is bad, don't play it. And that's really all I can see in this game. Graphically, it's okay. Like, if you look at the fire, stuff like that, and also if you set spiders on fire, they'll give you cash. So if you run out of cash, you can just wait for a spider to spawn and then click fire on them and then blow them up. So yeah, that's all I can see out of this game so far, is that it's just trying to tell you that, hey, don't waste your time playing games that try and manipulate you, and you should spend that time on more actually rewarding games, or maybe doing something else, because, the world is in disarray and you need to go sort things out instead of just wasting your time playing a pointless game, So that's really all I've gotten from this game. Aside from that, like, the game isn't that interesting. Like, you purchase a lot of items, and then you use them, and then you burn them together, and you get more money, and you burn them more. So you see here, like, as you purchase new items, you unlock new items for you to purchase, and then you can continue to unlock more and more, and then you unlock a new catalog down here. So you can see here, this is what we started off with, and then once you reach the end, you unlock a new catalog of items to purchase. And then you go through the rest of them, and then you reach the end of the game. That's how this game works. It's just continually burning stuff until the end of time, or until you just run out of things to burn. So, this thing's following me. Look at it. It's following my little... That was weird. So, it is a very... it doesn't have that many mechanics to it. It is just... You point at stuff, you set stuff on fire, and that's really it. It's not that interesting, but it is trying to say a message, and I respect it for that, but, that's it. Normally this game costs $10 on Steam to purchase, and I think $5 on the iOS store, and I think that's a bit much for what this game actually is. Like, it's 3 hours of... by the way, my estimate of 3 hours is from howlongtobeat.com. And it's 3 hours of essentially just this, and yeah, so it's trying to make you think, and I respect that, but I feel like it maybe could have done it in a more interesting way, maybe, I'm not 100% sure, but right now it just doesn't feel that interesting to play, or really, and it's not really that enjoyable either, so yeah, I don't really like it, because it's not that interesting. But I respect them for what they're trying to do. I understand that they're trying to convey a message. Wow, I didn't even intend on that, but okay. I respect them for trying to do that and all that, but it's just not suited for me. So my impressions of this game is that I agree with the game's message, so it's sort of already preaching to the choir, so it spends about 3 hours telling me something that I already agree with, and I assume it's probably the same for a lot of people who purchase this game either from the Humble Bundle or from Steam. Like, if you purchase from the iOS store and you play it on there, then maybe it's going to resonate more with you, because you're like, oh hey, I play those games, you know what, this game actually has a good point and it's thought-provoking. But to most likely you and I, we don't play these sorts of games, so what it's essentially doing, whoops, okay, what it's essentially doing is just preaching to the choir, saying, hey, these bad games, they're bad, don't you agree? And we're like, yeah, I agree. And then it spends another hour going, hey guy, you know those bad games I told you about? You know those bad games that are bad? Yeah, guess what? They're bad. It's like, wow, guy, I don't know what made you think that, but I agree with you. And then he goes on again for another hour, just repeating, saying, hey guy, you know that bad game I told you about that was bad? And then, like, before that, an hour earlier, you know how I said it was bad? Guess what? It's still bad, and you should probably not do anything relating to bad stuff. And I'm like, yep, haven't considered doing anything relating to bad stuff, but if you say so, then okay. I wasn't going to, but okay. And it's just like, yeah, you shouldn't, because it's bad. It's like, I wasn't planning on doing this stuff, so it is really kind of preaching to the choir for you and I, and it's just repeating the same message for 3 hours, and it's just not that interesting. Like, as thought-provoking games go, like, I feel like this isn't a good suit for, like, I'm just not the target audience, is what I'm trying to say, so I don't really like this game. Now, let's read this message. Okay, guess what? I'm making you something because you are my pretty good friend. Even though you never reply to my letters. Okay, but you have to send me something first. The thing you need to send me is red. And attractive. And has long invisible arms. Haha, no, it's not love, ew. It's magnets. I need a magnet, okay? She sent me a picture of her. No, not that. And a paper heart. Nope. Can't send you one. I need magnets. Nope. Whoops. Alright, so over here. Magnet. It's broken, but hey, whatever. Alright, actually, hold on. We need to wait for it to ship to us first. And you do spend a lot of your time in this game just waiting for stuff to arrive. So if you order a lot of items, you'll be sitting here quietly going like, yep, I'm waiting for it to ship to me. And then it's finally arrived. You can use your express ship stamps up here, but they are rather rare. So, wow, why did I open that? Fucking Christ, I'm an idiot. You can, use your express delivery ship things to bring them to you quicker. Like, instantaneously, but those are really rare to find and come across. So, I say that as I get one right then. But they're pretty rare to come across, so you don't want to waste them on everything. And they are limited, so you will run out. So, you can't just use them on everything. So, you have to pick and choose which one you want to bring to you ASAP. Because there are some of these items take a long time to arrive. Like, I think this television takes 1 minute and 20 seconds to arrive. That's 1 minute and 20 seconds of doing nothing. Just waiting. And that's what they're trying to say to you. They're trying to say, hey, doing this sort of thing where you're required to wait and not actually play a game, isn't that boring? Isn't this uninteresting? And I'm like, yes, this is boring. This is uninteresting. Thank you for pointing that out. I'm glad you have poked fun at this genre of games that are bad, in my opinion, and we are now in agreement. So it's like, this game isn't for me, I feel. So, oh, god damn it, I did it again! Are you kidding me? It's just, it puts you into a trance at this game. It's like, I gotta break everything. Okay, so let's just express ship. There we go. What? Why isn't it there? What? I opened you, didn't I? There we go. Send. There you go, have fun. Alright, so yeah, that's really Little Inferno in a nutshell. It's just telling you that a game that is bad, and you shouldn't be playing bad games, essentially. And it tells you this message through dull gameplay by saying, hey guy, this bad gameplay, it's pretty bad. You shouldn't play games that are like this bad gameplay because it's bad. Don't you agree it's bad? Pretty bad, don't you think? And it's, yeah. So it's intentionally bad, so it can tell you that games are bad, and it's like, okay, this is good, I suppose. This is just, no, I don't like it. The music, when it's there, is good. The aesthetics of the game are really interesting. I like how it's got little funny descriptions for items, like where is a funny little thing? Aha, letter blocks, optional profanity blocker accessory for easier parenting. It's making fun of people who say like, oh, you know, everything should be automatically parenting. I shouldn't have to look after my children. It's making fun. Haha, get it? And that's really it. So it's poking fun at a lot of things. And it's just saying, like, this is boring. This is dumb. It's just a parody of a lot of things. And I don't really find it that interesting or entertaining as a game. Like, yes, it's funny to poke fun at things. But if the underlying mechanics for those things aren't really that interesting, I find it hard to convince myself to play your game for 3 hours to get the full story and stuff like that, if you're just going to be repeating essentially the same thing. Like, I don't think there's enough content here to say, like, oh, this could last for 3 hours. Yeah, definitely. No, I don't think so. Like, maybe, like, 15 minutes, and then I get your point. Yeah. Okay, thanks for the magnet. I can tell there is something special about it. Yeah, it's broken. Did you notice too? What? Don't worry, I'm still making you something. I'm not very good at deadlines, but you can have this for now. I think it's broken. You got thermometer. Yay. Now, I wonder if we set it on fire, if it'll go up. Whoa! It didn't even set it on fire, but okay. So, thank you for sticking around, everyone. This has been Little Inferno, and basically, it is an interesting little game, but I think it overstays its welcome far too long, because it takes 3 hours at bare minimum to beat, according to how long to beat, and the mechanics of the game are really simplistic, and yeah, it's just putting things in a fire, burning them, watch them burn, then purchasing more stuff. So, and I understand, like, that's the point, but I don't want that point, so I feel like I'm obviously not the target audience. You're probably not the target audience. Everyone on PC on PC who purchased it through Steam or the Humble Bundle most likely also isn't the target audience. So I feel like they're kind of preaching to the they're sending a message to the wrong people. It's like, okay, so it's like going up to like a Sony or a Microsoft fanboy and saying like their competitor is dumb. Like, saying to a Coke fan, like, Pepsi is disgusting, or going to a Pepsi fan and saying Coke is disgusting. It's like, yeah, they're going to agree with you no matter what, because it reflects their own personal opinion. So you saying that sort of that thing isn't new or really that interesting. But if you say to a Pepsi fan and say, Pepsi could be better if they did this, or if you don't drink Pepsi, it would be better if you did that, or whatever. I don't know, the analogy of Pepsi and Coke is starting to break down a little bit there, but basically, if you're on iOS, this game is probably for you, but if you're from PC land, and you purchase it on Steam or a Humble Bundle store, then it's most likely not trying to target, its message really isn't aimed at you, and it's probably not going to be that interesting to you, because you don't play those sorts of games. Unless you do, in which case, you know, then it might actually be kind of useful to you. Maybe. So this has been my first impressions of Little Inferno. Basically, it's, you know, it's whatever. And on that note, thank you for sticking around, everyone. If you enjoyed this first impressions of Little Inferno, then be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. Whatever all those YouTubers say, I'm going to say it as well. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Google+. I don't have a Google+. Follow me on Facebook. Don't actually have a Facebook either. Follow me on MySpace. Don't have a MySpace. Tumblr. No, don't have one. Yeah, all I have is a Twitter, actually. So follow me on Twitter and YouTube. And that's about it, really. So, GG. Yeah, GG.